of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden messages.
We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I am your host, Adam Dunn, and I am back live in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
With a full studio. Look, last week, or 2 weeks ago, fucking ghost town around here.
Just me.
Poor MTI.
I know.
Did a whole show by himself.
Everyone's making fun of me for being on camera and stuff.
No beard. Not even a real... Well, you have a beard. You got a little beard.
I got a little beard.
It's not a real beard, but
guy.
whatever. It's
Got a
close
little
enough.
guy.
So, yeah, the last show we had, which was 2 weeks ago, was a good one. It was a good show. I was pretty impressed with it. But again, I wasn't here, so, just no fun. There's no fun in the studio. But today we have a full studio. We got Mr. Whiplash303 back in the studio.
What up?
We've got my buddy Kevin over here representing Quant, which we're going to talk about in a second. We got Matt. We got Matt and
Jimmy from Indigenous Peoples.
Oh, okay. That makes sense because I was hearing, and we're going to have Bushwick Bill on the line later, and we're going to have the kid. It's a full show, guys. It's a full show. And the kid is actually going to start his own show in 2 weeks. God, Lord save us, I think. But whatever. It's going to be here on the Adam Dunn Show Network. So it'll be, I don't know if we're going to do it before or after. I think before, because I'll have to, clean up all the messes he'll make, because that's how he does what he does. Of course, he will never agree on any of that. And so we'll talk to him a little bit later in the show. And what have you guys been up to? It's been crazy. The reason I haven't been on the show is I've been down in Puerto Rico working on a project down there, and it's been full on nonstop since the minute we touched ground. So I tried to squeeze a show in once. The other time I was literally there was not an internet even close to me. So nothing like that was. I couldn't even call it in because the phones didn't work there at that point. But interesting that the island is it's amazing because it's one of those places where you're like walking around and go like, so they just had like a major disaster like a year and a half ago. You can hardly see. I mean, you can see damage, of course, see big buildings, all the big stuff that they couldn't fix. That's what's there. But all the little stuff, is back on track, and like every car is brand new. You're like, wow, a lot of new cars here. And it's like, yeah, of course, because everyone had insurance and everyone got a brand new fucking car. It was like Oprah's Dream Island or something. Everybody gets a new car. So you see everybody driving around with brand new whips. But in general, it was like, it's interesting because you're in the Caribbean, but you're in America still. So it's like, you can still order from Amazon. You know what I mean? So it still takes 9 days, and it might not get there, and who knows? But you can actually do it. Whereas, so you're like, okay, and things aren't that much different, but it's still a little bit different. And from a weed point of view, I didn't see the best of the best examples.
Do they have rec and med out there?
They have. We got closer on the mic there, sir.
Do they have rec and med out there?
Not rec, but they are medical, which was it's like a relief now when you go somewhere and you see dispensaries. You're just like, not that I would ever visit any of them because I don't ever buy weed from a dispensary personally, but in general, it's just good to know they're there.
Yeah, right.
It's the opposite of the cops, I guess. So, any of you guys been there?
Where?
Puerto Rico.
No.
Where? Tell me. You guys
Where have you been?
Have you guys been?
I've been to Puerto Rico.
So that's the other thing cool about it. I thought was that it was like, it's everybody from New York has been there, of course, because it's like there's more Puerto Ricans living in New York than in Puerto Rico, pretty much. It's like it feels like that. But in general, it seemed like kind of one of those weird spots that not a lot of people went to, which those are my favorite, because I was like, okay, I'll do something down there just because, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's good to see just like everywhere in the world, like Thailand, like we talked about 2 weeks ago. Boom, that's like huge. When Thailand flips and has a medical program now, that just, is going to change the landscape of Europe. Or sorry, Asian. Europe.
Thailand.
Asian. Yeah,
Medical massages.
medical marijuana, sir.
Oh,
Jesus. You hear the word Thailand, and he's like, massage. Straight to the brain.
you got that rec massage? got that danky on the rec or what?
Yeah.
They do exist.
Ling
They
ling.
do exist. Me rub your long time. Me rub your long time. So, but in general, Thailand opening up, and then the fact that there's, breaks in the system in every direction. That was, I think, the guy whose truck jackknifed.
That is the semi guys. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We had a as I drove into the studio here at the Key to Life headquarters, there was a truck trying to back in, and it's all snowing here, and I just watched this thing just kind of slowly. I saw the guy. I could feel his pain because his wheels were spinning, but it wasn't doing nothing, and it was just boom, and it fell into a ditch out front. So now he's trying to get some help somewhere, and he's like, "There's some weird show in the back going on." But no, it was it's good just to see the system breaking down, and I mean because America was the one that was showing these people what's up. They were the ones that were like, "You got to be tough on weed," and all of a sudden it's like, "Yeah, you got to be tough on not weed exactly, but you got to tax that shit and make some money off of it." And all of a sudden they're like, "Dang, we could do that too." And I mean, Thailand's ready. The thing about them is they've been very anti, like pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that. They're not. They want the organic, natural medicine and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to watch how they take their whole spin on everything, because they got definitely good environment for growing. They got, the ability to probably produce anything that because they're out of all the countries there. They're actually pretty well to do, and they always have been. So.
The humidity's pretty good, isn't it?
Depends. There's a whole. I mean, Thailand's up and down all the way, so it's such a long country that it's
Right.
got all different climates, which is nice. So, northern is like it's kind of like northeast of Burma, and that's where you get the most indigenous tribes and the people that are like gonna hold the key. You know what I mean? The ones that
Right.
actually have something special. Whereas the farther south you go, the more it's like starts to become more westernized.
Right.
They have all the cookies.
Touristy.
All the cookies. Cookies are probably down there.
Right,
It's like,
right.
cookie. We got cookies.
Cookies.
Like, oh my God! I came all the way to Thailand to get cookies.
It's not going to be cookies in Thailand. It's going to be like, oh, squid. Oh, eels. What's that? That's the new weed.
Right? Well, I
It's the
don't.
dank.
Cupcake.
Exactly. The flavor palette, you'd be like, not really doing it for me so much. The squid flavor,
Right.
Oh, man.
which wouldn't be hard. I mean, there's just heavy on, and that wouldn't be. At least it's organic at that point. When it tastes like squid, it's
Is it
Yeah.
bad to say I think that weed culture is going to be like really alien to what we're used to? They're going to do some weird shit with it. It's bound to happen, right?
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're gonna make those. They're gonna make those tapioca ball things and the fucking drinks. They're gonna be the first hemp product they make, of course. Go to the bubbles.
Well,
the
they'll
bubbles.
do
They'll be like,
that.
that's the first thing they'll go for. You'll be like, what?
I'm wondering how will they incorporate the weed into porno?
Oh,
That's what I want to know.
Porno?
I think about that shit. It's gonna happen.
That's your thoughts.
I
That's
feel like you
Yeah.
have issues, Garrett.
I just saw
massages.
Pussy Bong the other day, and that was American, and I was
Oh,
like
that's been
weirded out
around for a long
about
time.
that.
That's been around for a long time.
You didn't know that? You buy a quarter and get a massage?
No,
That's the new. No. Well, it's good. It's good to know. We know we're this side of the. Well, not you. Not well,
this territory over here.
This circle.
the circle. The circle.
Feel free to describe it.
And so one of the reasons we have we had you come on today was because we're going to be talking with Bushwick, which we can do any time if we want to bang that out, just because who knows which direction that one's going to go too. Okay.
Yeah, Bushwick Bill, he could bring anything to the table.
Exactly, I can imagine, just like yourself. So
Oh yeah.
tell us. I mean, even though it's fucking months out, which is it's actually it's a great strategy. Like, especially with stoners, because by the time this show's on, no one's gonna remember nothing. Like, it's gonna be it's gonna be in the archives before, and they'll be like, "Did you really watch that archive for that show tomorrow night?" So we'll have to we're gonna do an updated one. But tell us about the actual event that we are looking forward to.
Okay, so there's actually 2 events. One is on March 22nd. One is on March 23rd. March 22nd at Herman's Hideaway in Denver. March 23rd at the Dickens Tavern in Longmont. And it's going to be a jam-packed show. There's going to be a lot of great local acts, but primarily Spice One and Bushwick Bill will be headlining the show. Bushwick Bill hasn't done very many shows in Colorado. I think he's only done like 3, he said, if I'm not mistaken.
Back with Garrett Boys or just recently on his
What was
own?
that? I think ever.
Yeah, like even with
Yeah. And you know, Spice and Bushwick Bill, they love getting to perform with each other. They're good friends, so there should be good chemistry on stage. Spice has an awesome set he's going to be performing. Yeah, it's just going to be an all-around good time. Stoner-centric, stoner-themed. Bring that weed. We're going to have some dope giveaways. Definitely going to have some swags, some glass, some other merch that we're going to be giving out to the crowd.
Nice. And so was it beginning or end?
What was that?
Was it March what? 20.
March 22nd in Denver, March 23rd in Longmont.
Nice. So you're gonna do the like a month ahead. Just say fuck it, we're going for the 320.
We might just do that. That's a great idea.
Why compete with 420, right?
Why even waste your time? Just get it done. 320.
320. It's 320 somewhere. That's what they always say.
Right. Cool. Yeah. Well. Yeah, because we're gonna get Bush on the phone. That'd be fun because it's always good, like I said, to have get a little bit of a thing going early, because usually whenever I brought people or I had people when I paid for it myself, it was like I tried to get the most out of it when I had somebody, especially when it was a weed friendly person, because they're only there for a day and you're trying to everyone's trying to get their attention at that moment in time. And, you know, it's also nice to get especially when you work with Spice once, so you understand, like, most people, it's just that, go to the show, maybe they're going to see him for a second somewhere else. But when you get a little one-on-one, it's kind of funny because especially when you smoke weed with people, you get stuck into that one-on-one, right? You can't help it because now you're in the trailer with somebody. So we get those weird moments. And in Amsterdam, had it all the time because people get so baked that they literally couldn't move anyway, so they were just stuck there and be in that weird section and be like, now it's just, chance to get a little bit of their inside views on stuff. And with Amsterdam, it was interesting because everybody's they're a little more out of their element, for that moment. And that's when you get spun. It takes a little bit of weed when you're already out of your element,
Right. Well, when you're working with these rappers and entertainers, you start to get like a baseline comfortableness with all of them. Like in the beginning, it's awkward with a couple people, but then it's like you see these people you've never met, you've never seen them before. Now you're hanging out with them, and like you feel like you've known them for years because you get over that awkward barrier. Now they've become like an actual person. Like me and Bushwick's first conversation on the phone was 3.5 hours. And I wasn't expecting that. But it's like I knew him so well because there was like so much stuff we could relate about, and we knew about the same topics and the same stuff, and he's an idea factory, and he's just spewing out all this knowledge about shows and putting together events and promotional ideas, and like he's just got like 30 years of deep experience in the game. And it's like at a certain point, what's up?
Talking to the mic.
So
you have to look at me just talking about
at a certain point, it's just a good synergy. You're just jiving,
Yeah, and I had it too, where we had Noriega. I met Noriega's manager Ollie in Amsterdam after a Cannabis Cup, and he had kind of walked around and checked out everything that was going on, and it was like the day after or 2 days after the thing, he was on his way back to New York, and he rolled into my shop, and it was just kind of like one of those classics where we had a few mutual friends, which were that instantly we knew were on the same page when it came to certain New York versions of what we liked, and like, okay, you definitely, you're, and he was a, really big guy, and like in Amsterdam, everybody's always really weird, like they want to sell you something, or they're just weirded out by you if you're different, So he said he just had like such shitty vibes from everybody, and then he got all we hung out for until they closed the shop, and then I showed him around, and that little one connection, and then of course he's managing Noriega, and then I hooked him up with a friend, and then we just became like family overnight with that, like just the vibe, just because I took care of him when he went home, because I was like, oh well, shit, it was one of those deals where we all knew kind of the same the critical people, let's say, and then so I felt it was easy to introduce him to others, and then boom, he had a little circle instantly that he had, didn't anticipate from that trip. It was just kind of like
Right.
And so through all that, everybody else then goes via the reputation of whatever you did, So in that sense, everybody was super cool to me, and it was never that weird.
It's kind of like when you're in Amsterdam, talk to this dude, he's super dope.
Yeah, so
and
it just became easy.
then you start getting people plugged through you.
Sure.
It's like that here. It's like, hey, talk to Jesus. He's chill. He's he's not gonna.
And it's just been funny because a lot of these guys were, like, because what I did was I took care of him and hooked him up with my friend in Rhode Island, and then that guy is now, his best friend is, putting out music with, through them, and actually, things are all popping off, and it's just like nice because it all just, literally was like the last shop that he went into, nobody was cool. And I was like, oh, wait, you're Noriega's manager? And like, no one ever even knew who Noriega was, so it was kind of like, that was half the battle. Is like, normally in New York, Ollie's like, that's Noriega's manager, So it was always like easy for him. And then he's there, and it's like, who's that? You mean the guy? They all just were like Dutch guys who were like, who cares? Who the fuck's that? You know what I mean? So, so yeah, no, it's just, it's cool. I think the industry is very much like, the same situation where the same, a lot of those old school hip hop 90s guys, it's amazing how long they've lasted, in a sense of just like,
You mean real hip hop?
For sure.
The real stuff?
Oh yeah, now it's
not mumble hop?
I'm totally with you on that.
I will say though, with all these mumble rappers, Tekashi was sentenced to prison, right? He's going to be in prison for like a long time. And in fact, this might be the first time in history a mumble rapper will ever complete a sentence. Okay, Tekashi, don't send your people after me, please. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, it is pretty sad. It's a sad state of affairs these days, and it's like it's too bad. Well, no, it's actually not though. The thing is, it's what we see, because if you're not into it, because I'm sure, it's not like people. I mean, amazingly enough, the some of the guys you can't believe are still alive. So, and talent behooves talent. So as long as you're in the right level and the right people, I'm sure it's out there. But it's sad as far as what's considered. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, this is not anything.
Well, there's a battle between like the new school and the old school. It's like the old school is trying to keep their throne,
right?
And these new dudes are trying to take the throne over, but with the worst music ever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, in the same way, like every generation that came before another generation, they always look at that younger generation as some sort of like a degenerate, you know? And it's like, it's just the same thing. Like they figured out how to be like even bigger degenerates than like, and it's just like, now these dudes are talking about like their guns have dick clips, they're going to stick that dick clip in the gun, and it's just like, what are they talking about?
Right. Back in the day, it had a story. There was a vibe. There was like history. Like they were speaking about truth, There was substance to it, their words. I mean, I like it all. I think there's a lot of talent, but I also think that, like you say, like, what's a dick clip? What is that? What is that?
What's your take on hip hop, Jimmy?
I'm on the same line as you guys.
First of all, how old are you right out of the gate?
I am 33.
All right.
So he's a puppy.
So you're still young. You could go either way.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say.
In music, right? Either way.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah. He's bi. He does some mumble rap and some gangster rap.
There you go.
No,
There's no
just
mumble.
kidding.
Absolutely not.
Does Jimmy, you do the same thing as Garrett?
No, I'm a musician.
Okay.
So we're
You're broke, basically.
yeah, basically. Yeah. So
In other words, I'm broke. No, well, depends. I mean, actually, it's interesting because you actually probably have a few bucks, but like people who are huge are just in debt anyway because their shit's like the only way to stay sustained is to fucking, you know, they're almost like, you know, almost everybody who you think is killing it, you know, it's like, are you killing it or are you like 50 grand in the hole? Like, I'm actually 50 grand in the hole. So you're like, so that guy on the street who's got like $6, he's actually doing way better.
Well, absolutely. And with the way what people don't understand about record deals is when you get, say you get $1 million record deal, it's a loan. It's not.
That is a record deal, by the way, in case anybody's like, what's a fucking record deal?
Yeah, right.
It's a fucking record deal.
What is vinyl? What is that?
It's actually making a comeback, actually.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, it's a record deal is a loan. So if you don't make that money, if the company doesn't make that money back in your sales, then you owe the record company what they didn't make up.
I never knew that.
Yes.
See, you always learn something on the Adam Dunn Show, even if it has nothing to do with weed.
Exactly.
You're like, what? That I will never play in a band ever. Like, that just made everybody.
Everybody's like,
you literally just made like
manager-
a fucking 1,000 people just say, "Fuck it, I'm not even gonna think about playing anymore."
My manager lied to me.
I won't even. Not only will I not make money, I may owe money. Like, what is the fucking point of that? That sounds horrible. So you gotta you actually gotta have some talent and actually some realistic traction before you even want to like pursue a record deal nowadays.
Yeah. And nowadays, it's really not even worth it getting a record deal.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, exactly.
If you can get
build it all yourself, and nobody buys records anyway.
Exactly. So
actually, though, you just said it was making a comeback, so maybe it's a good idea. I mean, the thing is, I love records to this day just because of the fucking real estate involved. Like, there's so much happening in there between the actual record and the fucking inside.
A needle.
Well, not even of the record player. I'm just talking about the record itself. Like, when you buy one, you get like all that cardboard stuff. And if you think about it, like nowadays, you know, you get nothing. You get like a fucking code and you put it in and then you lose it and the fucking, I had nothing. You have zero like real material shit. And or maybe like a fucking really like a sick fucking terabyte, bro. You know, and it's like one magnet away from complete fucking failure, you know? So then it's like, whereas when you go back into your mom's fucking or your grandma's fucking attic and you find your old shit, like I left so much stuff that I barely ever have any of that kind of stuff. But if I do ever have it, like I have my original boombox from when I was like 13, which is like 1984 or something like that, and it was like I checkerboarded it with fucking tape and fucking put it in my, you know, you can just see all the little fucking things. Double cassette with a little keyboard that came out the bottom. It was like the most ridiculous. Like I started, and then when I got it, I was like, wait a minute. Put it at 140, and I was like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, dude, I could have just fucking invented dubstep. All I had to do was turn that shit to 140 and played it like this, and I could, because all the shit was so simple, but it was like a Casio, but it actually sounded pretty good. And I was like, oh yeah, this is easy now that I know exactly where to set it all at, because I was all playing it down here, and it was sounded. I remember going like, this is crap, you know what I mean? But it had like little weird effects, and it was built, you know, in 1984. So nowadays it looks like it's fucking. You're like, yeah, that's fucking quality, you know? whereas nowadays you're like, it will never last, you know. But it was pretty awesome because all the shit still kind of worked. Like the speakers I had to fucking rewire and shit. But for the most part, I was like, my kid plays with it now, so it's kind of funny because it's just like, anyway. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about, but it was pretty cool. So we're here to talk about actual products. So we'll talk about, we'll talk about his product, then we'll do our fucking little commercial, and then after the commercial we'll call Bushwick, and then that way he's, so you can tell him like, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. I don't know, whatever. What do you want to call him first? Since he's on the line, let's call him first.
It's up to you. Yeah,
I think we should call him first instead of.
How do we get him on the line?
Just take down this number to send to him, and then we'll call it. I'll give you a number to send to him. Okay. And I'll announce it on the show, man. The real number, the number we don't ever tell. No, it's the same old fucking number, guys. Yeah. The number people are scared to call. They go like, "Oh, don't call in, bro."
Yeah. It's funny when people are like, "Oh, I wish I could call in. I wish I could call in." Then I put up the number, and they're like. And then they're like, "Oh, I don't have a connection right now. I can't call in right now."
Don't be scared. Pick up the phone.
The number's on AdamDunnShow.com.
720 310-8237.
Hold on, man. I'm a stoner. I can't remember that.
I'm just saying it.
420 what?
420. You just stoned out.
He's like 420, 310.
720. You know where we live?
Yeah, it's already typed in my phone.
720. 310.
Three
like,
what?
310, like California. So we kind of kept that like
310. Oh, great.
Old school
Now we
California.
got 710 labs in the building. Okay.
8237,
I see
which
what
is
you're doing.
TADS if you're like
38. What?
8237.
38237. What are you?
He just gave you like
just
20
said
numbers.
38237.
No three in the front. 8237. 8237. 720-310-8237.
But dude, that doesn't make sense. You just gave me 2 area codes in a row.
He did.
I did.
Yeah.
So what's the area code?
720.
310.
I know. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's send him this text. Let's see when he calls in. We were right about the 45 minutes. I told him. Cool. You know I had to give you shit, man.
You had me guessing. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Can we have waters over there? A couple of those for everybody.
Yeah.
And this kush is just
So
very
what kind
nice.
What kind of musician are you?
I'm an MC.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Operatic MC. He sings. No, okay. Why don't you spit a little something for us, Jimmy?
Yeah,
let's see
Jimmy,
what
some
you got.
more.
Indigenous Peoples in the house.
Oh shit.
By the way, Jimmy's on Busy Bones record label. They are doing their album release party at these 2 shows. Support local hip hop, support small acts, follow Indigenous Peoples on their Instagram. You know, support them. Buy their album, come to the show, show some love.
All right, so let's see. I'm in it for the love of the rhythm, the feel that you gotta listen. It's more than just a tempo, it's a physical vibration. Transition to a world if you really want connection. If hip hop's dead, let this be the resurrection. And yes, it's the business we deliver on the message. We exhibit our intention while we limit opposition. No division in the vision that I mentioned. We indigenous. We represent the lineage. The history is hideous. The future is illuminous and limited to ludicrous. It's not like we knew a band doing this for numerous years, and we proving it with tears, and we're moving downstairs. Something like that.
Something like that.
Just something like that.
Don't have a sip of water. That's why I got that. Have a sip.
What's the fastest verse you ever spit? That one in the song about Nick? No, you spit faster than that one?
He's thinking about it.
I don't know.
I just dug back into high school, just so you know. That song was a track from his that he had in high school.
I can't even remember that.
I know, I can't remember what you said either. It was too fast.
That was awesome.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Joint.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what I should say. So, we're going to talk about Quant in case we get interrupted by Bushwick, which we will hope so. We hope we get interrupted. This product you guys don't have, so I won't even hype that product at the moment. But, but I will hype
It's out there. It's out
there. We'll talk about that at the end. But what you do have is the Wave, the Quant Wave, which is very elegant. I noticed it was very well designed. You're
You'd
here
like to say the Louis Vuitton.
the Louis Vuitton
Of vaporizers.
It does have a feel for sure. It comes in a whole bunch of different colors, I assume, and
Yes.
feels, and it's almost like a slick. It almost feels like a lighter more than like an old school Calibri back when the Calibris were the hot
Yeah.
item, and you had like one elegant drug dealing, a little click at the top, little drug dealer with a gold, gold lighter that was all thin or something. Basically, Louis Vuitton, same thing as Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
80s drug dealer.
Yeah, sure.
80s drug dealer, Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
But in general, very slick. It automatically turns on, all that.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is it vibrates.
The girls love it.
Girls love vibrating.
You know how to make it vibrate? Make it vibrate.
Talk to it. Do you actually talk to it? Just say something, or is it?
Huh?
You just say something to it, or?
So yeah, he talks about the vibration. When you pull the battery out,
There you go.
you
I'm
put
the
the
next
battery
one.
in, it vibrates so that you know.
And that's
Oh,
legit.
That's legit. And then if it gets down to 10%.
That's enough right there. You're sold?
I'm sold.
God,
Yeah.
easy. This guy's easy right here. Just
Dude, vibrating vape pens, the ultimate pleasure, okay?
That's right. That's right. That's what we're selling. That's how we're doing it. Vibrating vape pens.
well, it indicates when it's like
Low.
when it's low. Oh, good.
And
So you
when
just
the
ride around.
battery.
Yeah. So
But it's a nice feedback. Sorry to interrupt. It is a
No,
nice
go ahead.
feedback when you plug in your iPhone, something goes, doop, you know,
Yeah.
maybe like your phone buzzes when you plug it in or whatever. It's a feedback. It lets
Yep.
you know it's alive. It's communicating with you.
Right.
You
And the
know?
cool thing is, like with these pods, like I was going to challenge Adam here to the 10-second. We've got people at 10 seconds, people don't usually do, which he's going for it. He's going for it. It's pretty tough. I can do like a second or 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure that was a 10-second hit.
it doesn't vibrate at the 10 seconds. I was waiting for the vibration.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was hoping.
It should reward you. It should reward you. Then it would be a proper, maybe a goals. You set some goals
Yeah.
here.
But the cool thing is they've done a lot of research and development. The biggest thing is wanting to do like white labels, like Key to Life or T8 Seeds, or a musician or something like that. Or Bushwick Bill, he wants to have his own vaporizer.
Life and weed.
There you go, Life and Weed. Anybody can get on.
Life and weed is in the house right now.
Boom.
He ain't here, but he's here right now.
He's here.
He's here.
Nice. But you can, put your own labels on it, and we're going to be they want to do different scales. You know the market out there. You've got the THC market. I always say that. What we're going to hit, we're going to have distillate, different flavors. Going to focus on some different 5 flavors. We're going to do the CBD market as well. Launch 5 flavors. And then, we're going to go to the e-liquid side. THC is a little limited, but getting out there. CBD is growing hugely. It's great. It's got a lot of benefits. And then you've got the e-liquid side, which is all over the world, Well, the cool thing about these pods that they do different, and Joel can't get it, is it's patented, it's proprietary, it's got little vents, which actually let the smoke, the way he hit it, it flows smoothly. And then you won't get that pop like a lot of times, or like you were talking about earlier, Adam, where you got the whole juice.
Yeah, I had a pen very similar to this, as far as like slick and nice, but it was a little bit different. But had pods similar also, and just came in the mail one day. I was like, oh look, that's cool, and didn't really have any literature about it. I looked it up online. They had a real simple thing, not much going on, and so tested it out, and I was like, oh cool, I'll get them on the show. And first round, I took a couple hits off the first one. Tasted fire. Like, it was really good. It was a headband or something like that, and it was like on point. I was like, that tastes very OG. They had a real OG dominant something, and it was hitting really tasty and stuff. And then had another one that was Jack Herer, and then some other thing that I never heard of. So I was like, oh, I'll check out the Jack Herer, plug that in, took one hit, and it just like, oh, squirted in my mouth. So I was like, well,
Jack Herer busted in your mouth.
Busted a nut straight. I know.
Oh, Lord.
From the grave, dude. It was fucking weird.
Jeez.
These won't do that, Adam.
I hope not. I'm just saying that was a bad sell. It was one of those moments where I was like, damn, and I was just beginning to like this thing, and then I tried to put my other cartridge back in, and it never really hit the same, and it was kind of one of those like.
So here's a question I want to ask. CBD is blowing up, right? But
Right.
is CBD blowing up in place of THC? Like they're dying for weed so bad, it's like a call for help. But all they can get is CBD, so they get it. So like if THC is legalized across the border as more states open up, does the popularity of CBD drop because now THC is available?
I don't think so. I think people that are actually really educated, have tried the THC side and the CBD. They're totally 2 different effects. It has a lot of really good effects for lupus and seizures and cancer, and there's a lot of benefits to it. I'm not saying that the THC lupus. So it I have a foster mom that has lupus, and so it had reached out and had a lot of joint pain, arthritis, and stuff like that. And there's oils and salves that you can use. So I think a lot of people that are on the go and stuff like that don't want to have the oil or whatever, can't take or the salve. They can just hit the vape and get the same effect through the vaporizer. Right. And this is sleek, it's elegant. The technology's lots of research and development, constantly improving it. So
it's got ceramic.
Correct.
And ceramic coil or whatever.
Yep.
Ceramic coil, and the thing is now these are refillable or not refillable?
Those are. I could fill them. You could fill them if you knew how.
If you knew how.
They're disposable though.
Okay, the idea is can you get them so that you can like fill them, click them, and then you throw them away?
Correct.
You don't want to like undo it and then go back. Okay.
That's so fine. that keeps the mark.
Now,
so
are they going to do that, or are they just doing it because you are helping because you can get it done like that? Or
well, see, basically what will happen, it'll be like a jewel or whatever that you see out on the market. So you'll purchase like this, and then you'll have like 2 pods. What they're talking about doing, which is pretty crazy. I was talking to the CEO today. They're talking about you just purchase the pods and the battery comes free. And that's what they're wanting to do. So there's a couple of different things that we discussed about. They're talking hard launch, of course. We're not going to do 320. It'll be 420. But
see, nobody's going to be on your shit. You're free and clear.
The people that are ahead of the curve are, man.
Yeah, right. And that
all day.
Maybe an option there too as well. To have this out there so that people can actually see it and get it in their hands and feel it. And
we need Quant at that show, man. At both those shows.
I think what you need to do is you need to do when the people buy the filled ones to get a free battery, but to keep people like myself on board and to keep people on board that are like pretty much going to be not interested if they have to be working with somebody else's material, then they should have it so that you can buy empty ones and fill them yourself, because that's just purely on the fact that it's open source at that point, and people are like, okay, these guys are cool compared to closed loop, and maybe they like it 2 times, and then they get some other cartridge, and then they just don't give a shit. It's not like they get the battery free anyway, you know what I mean? So it's not like there's really like less, like, whereas if you gave me like 2 of these, 2 batteries, and 6 of those, in like for $200 or something like that, where it's like, okay, I'll do
right.
that. You know what I mean? Because now I got 2 batteries, so when I lose one, or I can keep one on the charge, have a really cool charger that comes with them with a double charger, so they can charge 2. Whatever comes.
Right,
and
right. It does come with a charger and stuff.
And then you make it so it's a double, so it's 2 for 1 basically, but you're not really paying for 1. You pay a little more, but you get shitload of, at least 6 of those cartridges to start with, and then you make them buy. Now they're hooked on buying these empties off of you for X amount, but that's still like. Then you sell them in 3-packs like these for 3.
Well, and that's what we're wanting to do is like for life.
Then I'd be semi-interested. I mean, I'm not going to buy anything from anybody ever personally,
right?
But it doesn't mean that for somebody coming down, because when you get somebody who's interested in buying, because that's the hardest part is the pod part. Like,
right, exactly.
So here's a question: how long will the charge last you, and then how long will what's the lifespan of that battery?
That's a tough question, because like he just 10-second hit it. Like most people don't do that, or he may hit it 200 times in an hour, and I may hit it 20 times in an hour. So it's all relative, as to how you use the product.
What do you think you get? Like a couple hundred hits per?
Oh, easily. Like that out of that pod, 1 mil. The cool thing though is that we're doing the white label. Like I'm with ZenXL.com, and we're working on doing oils for this actual product, but also oils for other people. Mm-hmm. And so what we're talking about is like white labeling. So you could buy all the pods, you buy the battery, but then you would use if you have your own oil company or whatever, your own distillate, then you could fill it and sell these as your, whatever.
Because you have to. I mean, if you want to think about selling numbers and also getting in, because otherwise you have to work with 2 sides, because a lot of times people want to see people with finished product before they're going to even talk to them. Then if you say, because then they're going to say, oh, well, they have to fill it up on premise. And then, you kind of like get into this weird, because it is filling up cartridges. So you have to get into a licensed facility to fill it up, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So
always.
It'll be easier to sell to the guys who actually have the lab and that are filling up, then it'll be easier to sell to the final person, because the final person is the only one that's going to want. Most of them are going to want their name on it. You got more of them than you are of them. You know what I mean? So this guy could sell to 50 companies.
Right.
He might want his label on it, but at the same time, some of those people can sell more if they can label it direct to the end user.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're the ones that might, eventually, now that we have more spaces, but
and you hit the Arrow and the Jewel and all these other ones. They don't even compete to this, and like the technology on the pod itself alone is just crazy. But the battery, it's sleek. I mean, it's elegant. It's fire. I mean, this is cutting edge technology.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it all comes down to the material that goes into it, because luckily you'll have control on that for now, but at the same time, if they want to go to other states or move to other, it's one of those, it has to be open-ended. So, I mean, obviously there's a way to fill them and do all that. Just how many do you have to fill them by hand, or can you do them with a machine, or is there?
Well, what I have the capabilities, or we have the capabilities at Zen Excels to do it with a machine. You know, there's like a standard thing that takes those pods, and now on smaller runs and stuff like that, you obviously hire like some, Joe Blow. He comes in, he's got a syringe, and he just syringes it all day.
Joe Blow with a syringe. Sounds super technical.
Super technical. But yeah, at the facility, like if you're doing smaller, you can do it by a syringe, but most everything's going to be machine and automated. The biggest thing is with the products and stuff that are coming out, and even like for us over at Zen Excel, we put a QR code, and that's one of the things that we want to do with this product. A lot of people out in the industry, Adam, as you know, claim CBD, and then they've got 0.08 THC on the back end or something like that. Whereas like these will have a QR code. You'll see the COA. You'll be able to know the oil coming from our facility or whoever's facility. If we're working in negotiations with them, but even like our facility, we like to have that everybody knows what they're getting in the product. And I think that's one of the things you got to be out there is educate people, because people are like, I tried the CBD, but I got high. And I'm like, so what was in it? And I don't know, but it was CBD. And, if you have a government job or whatever, or if you don't even smoke weed, but you want the effects of CBD, you got to be really careful with, putting your name and label out there that you are a CBD product, But they do want to do, with this company, they want to do a THC, like I said, THC side. Then they want to hit the CBD market as well. Then obviously the e-liquid, there's different phases and different avenues of success in each of those markets, So, you got anything to say, Matt?
Taking sneaky photos.
You all right over there?
You pretty much hit it on the head.
You all right over there? You want to hit, Matt? But it's really great technology. I think it's got a ton of potential. Anybody that's hit it, what did you think when you hit it? Smooth or?
It definitely works. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
What's that?
Yo, you got your headphones on now, sir?
Oh, yeah, let's get the headphones on.
Yo, Adam, what's good?
Who's this now? Who we got going on?
This is into Canada. I'm actually at Home Depot right now. I just decided to call in.
All right, Home Depot. Every grower's favorite place. It's like one of those things where
Legit.
What I always do when I'd go there is I would wear something orange just to hang out and just fuck around with people. You'd wear like an orange shirt, and then everybody comes up to you and asks you questions. And then you just look at them really, just look at them and be like, and wait, and then just be like, I don't work here. And then they're like, what? Why the fuck are you wearing an orange shirt?
That's why you wear a red polo to Target on Christmas.
I'm only 30, so usually most people here are like, I don't know, a bit older, so at least I don't fit in necessarily to that. But I'm picking up like this piece of board for a bathroom because I need to basically get an indoor grow kind of happening at this other house I got going. So,
hey, when I used to live in Amsterdam, I would come back to LA, and my friend would be like, it'd be like 3 a.m, and he'd be like, shit, we need a ventilation tube or something. We're going down to Home Depot, and I'd be like, what? They're open? They're not. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they're open 24 hours. It's like this.
Ours closes at like 8 here.
I know.
Brutal. We have no.
I know. It isn't the same. It isn't like it used to be, bro. It used to be like a party every fucking night.
I'm having a hard time getting grow bags even too. At least the large size, because I'm picking up some 100-gallon ones, and it's like Amazon's kind of like even my only option, and it's not even the best one.
Yeah, that's pretty big. It's a pretty big. Pretty big.
Yeah.
You need how many of those?
I know. 15.
Yeah, Amazon would be rough. That'd be a motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
100 gallons. Even though it doesn't feel like much, they definitely take up a bit of room, even though when they're folded up, it's like, there's a bit of material on each of those hundies.
Sure.
So what do you got to pick up at Home Depot?
But yeah, I just want to say...
what's going on?
I just want to say I love the MK Ultra, man. That's one of my favorite strains that I didn't even know until like I started listening to the show that you're a part of it, or you basically created it and everything. And that's just like one of the hardest hitters, and I've always kind of referred to it for like, something that'll basically get you, I don't know, better than couch locked. It'll get you where you need to be, I guess.
Yeah, and that was It's interesting because we brought the OG over to Amsterdam at the same time as the Sour Diesel. In the very beginning, I had them in the same thing, and they were kind of tied up with a little twist tied that was going to identify it, and then it was mixed up with a few other things, and then all of a sudden I was like, what? Wait a minute, which one's which, and then we grew them out and took a little, because at that point we just had them as clone form, and I'd seen both on the trip, but never had much experience with either of them, and it was kind of like, oh shit, which is which? but it was clear. It became clear as day after a while. But it was one of those funny, classic clone mix-ups in the cannabis world.
Yeah, that's how it all happened.
So is this?
I guess the other thing I was going to ask was, sorry to keep interrupting you, I guess, but with Bodhi, I guess I think I was listening to some podcasts. I've basically been catching up to all your podcasts. I've been going in the reverse order, which is kind of weird because I'm kind of hearing everything back to you can almost talking in the States about hoping things are going to become legalized, and now it's becoming more. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, but you mentioned at one point about working with Bodhi on a line. I'm not sure if that was still happening anytime soon, or if that's already happened. Or
it started, and then I had an issue at the place that it happened, and so it was kind of got thwarted at that moment, because it was an outdoor project. So when things go wrong in an outdoor project like that, or suddenly, there was no plants. It was one of those situations.
Oh, no.
Then there's not much you can do, so we didn't get very far. And but I still have plenty of the kind of first round and part of the second round, and then the intention was to go a little bit further with it. But there's those are all with the Jasmine Cat Piss crosses, which was a Snow Lotus, and so it was a male that was a Snow Lotus and a Blockhead from Bodhi. And
right.
And then the Blockheads from Breeder Steve. So I was kind of familiar with that, and it was interesting because you really saw it come out when you use the male, and he liked it, I liked it, so we were going to move on to the next phase, but that's exactly when everything kind of got sideswiped. So it's kind of like, oh well, shit. Well, I guess we're not doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's how things go usually, I guess. With especially holding on to genetics is always.
Well, there's a bunch. As far as the stuff that I did on the first round, and it's like it's great for outdoor. It's real big and stuff, but kind of had yet to hone in on it and stuff. So there's more work to be done.
Yeah.
And Bodhi,
are you thinking
with Bodhi, it's hard. I mean, he's got so much going on that there's so much to pick and choose from him to work with. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think the last time I even heard about him, at least in person, was, I guess, on your podcast, which was over a year ago. So I don't even really know exactly what he's up to, unless he's checking in I guess he checks in on Instagram, and I follow him there, but it's just sort of, touch and go.
Sure.
Are you thinking to come up to Toronto at some point?
It's weird. I had a tough time getting into Canada the first time, so I'm kind of I was a little bit I'm a little reluctant to go, because it's I don't know how. I mean, I guess it would be over by now, because it was around 2007. I think the last time I was there, 2008, or tried to get there, and it was really, I tried to fly in, I couldn't. They wouldn't let me fly in. And they flew me back out, and I was like, what? That's kind of weird.
I thought you'd maybe stopped into BC a few times.
I did.
Came by here, but
I did go once. And then I just made my way over. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going." And so I went to Bellingham, and I just said, "Fucking," walked over. I was like, "I'm coming in." But when I never checked back in again, it was one of those deals. So it's kind of they thought I left, and then I left again. So I don't know if it came up "Hey, how did you leave again?" I don't know. It was a long time. But I wasn't even trying to get to. I was trying to get into BC at the time, and. So I had to make my way up there. But Toronto's definitely got a good scene. I mean, it seems like Toronto be a little more of a New York vibe, maybe, compared to the BC being the kind of Cali vibe. I don't know.
Sure.
This is all in my head. I have no idea. What are you doing there? You working in a dispensary, or you have?
No, I have my own growth. I'm kind of gearing up for this sort of coming, new year with legalization, but although they've been kind of limiting with licensing, so I'm not sure what's going to happen exactly for me on that. And but I'm going to see what I can apply for. And aside from that, I just kind of keep busy with some other side jobs, I guess. But
keep it together.
But
how much is weed? How much is weed worth up there? How much is weed worth up there?
I guess per pound you guys go by. Good question. More than up there. That's not the best thing. I guess I could say per gram, which isn't that helpful, but I don't know. People pay about anywhere from 10 to $12 a gram at dispensary kind of thing, even, right? I can't really give you much better estimates. I don't really deal in pounds, and there's only LPs kind of up here, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, I would say it's worthless, probably everywhere for the most.
It's dropping, yeah.
For the most part. Well, cool. Thanks for calling in. Good luck. Good luck at the Home Depot. My whole thing about Home Depot is every time I go there, I forget what the fuck I went there for, and then I end up buying everything except what I fucking needed, or at least I miss the one vital ingredient. I'm like, fuck, I forgot the hinge, and it's like, then I have to drive all the fucking way back, and then there's you end up buying 5 more things. So they got this weird.
Yeah, but I know when I go there, I'm always getting food. They got that hot dog dude outside of there. And I'm like, well, even if I don't get what I'm looking for, I'm going to leave with a fucking bucket and a hot dog, okay?
Exactly, an orange bucket. I'll use it for something.
It's a shitty-ass hot dog. It tastes way better, though, when you buy it at Home Depot like that.
It does.
You're not going to eat that hot dog at home, but in front of Home Depot, it tastes so good.
I don't know what it is. It's a little paper wrap.
I'm not guilty of ever eating at fucking Home Depot.
And then some of them tried getting classy. Some of them have bratwurst guys there now, to step up on the hot dog dudes,
Nice.
Pretty soon they'll have lagers, brats and lager.
Pretty soon. They would do good. They would do good with the lager, for sure. Everyone just roll up in the pickup and grab one. And cool. Thanks for calling in. Oh, he already left.
Let's see, would we lose him?
We lost him.
He's like, just 100 gallon.
Well, it's not Bushwick Bill, by the way. Because everybody's like, wow, he sounds really totally not the same.
I was like, sounds pretty white, this guy.
Bro, that's his voice.
That was Bushwick at Home Depot. That was the whole show. And that was the show, everybody. Thank you very much. Good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Let me do a little shout out right now, since we got a little bit of a lull, and then that will instantly, just like when you try to do something,
give him a call real quick.
He'll call, and that'll, that's how it always rolls.
Yeah.
We'll start off with our first and foremost
New Millennium.
Out of the gate, New Millennium Nutrients. New Millennium Nutrients. .com if you want to check them out. They are premier sort of ingredients, real old school as far as the quality of the and the people who put it together are some of the guys who put together the formulas that made everything great, you could say. Even to the point of some of the primary stuff, where you're like, oh shit, that. But at the same time, they put it together for now and here when production. So if you're into large scale production, you definitely want to give New Millennium Nutrients.com because they have very cost effective nutrients that can boost your yield, but also enhance terpene, all the little qualities that Eddie is looking for. And done by people who know, who literally that's what they've been doing there the last 20 years plus. And you can also check out on their website and see they have a little calculator so you can see how much you need, space by the plant requirements, things like that. So go to newmillenniumnutrients.com, check out them, and also hit them up with the done deal because that always gets you something. Here we go. Could tell Garrett. Yo. Welcome to the I'm Done show.
That's right.
Who's that? We got Bushwick?
Yeah, it's Bushwick Bill.
Yo, my friend, how you doing?
And am I on the Adam Dunn show?
You are officially on the Adam Dunn show, and I think Garrett's got
I am officially on the Adam Dunn show?
You are officially
Damn,
on.
Damn first one. It's not done. It just begun on the Dunn show. Now I'm talking about.
Get her done. Get her done right now. Yeah. Thanks for calling in. We got Garrett hanging in the studio. He comes in regularly or semi-regularly, so it's nice to have the ability to start hyping up some of his shows, even if they're fucking 3 months early. Whatever, we're out to help each other out. But it's also great to get you on the line because is that thing on here too?
Yeah.
Now we got feedback, so you don't need that if you can't hear it on here.
Well, I think he called the three-way, so if I hang up on this, I might hang up the
phone.
phone.
We'll just have him call back on the 310. without a three-way, and then we'll do that. Because is there somebody else besides him on, or just?
No, yeah.
We're gonna because we don't want to get an echo. Because we got his phone.
Okay.
Now we got it. Now we got it. Never mind. We're
what
good.
up, Bushwick?
You already hung up. It's just me and you on the phone now.
Yeah, now it is. No, because we had, of course, Garrett had it on. He had his fucking volume on his thing. You know, don't worry about it though. Don't worry about it. It's all good. So, where you at right now? You at home or just chilling, or you on the road?
No.
Where you at?
No, I'm at Legendary Studio.
Oh, sweet.
I'm at a recording studio.
Oh, good.
One of the oldest recording studios in the world.
All right, and we're in a CIA.
It's been open since the 1940s. Willie Nelson cut his first song here. Archie Bell and the Drell, Glenn Jones. Lil Wayne did one of his albums here. It's an historical studio from the 1940s till today.
That's awesome. We're in a former CIA holding tank right on the runway in Broomfield, Colorado. It's fucking weird. You come in here, and this is literally where people would be like, they'd hold up.
Hold up. You trying to tell me you at your own Guantanamo Bay, but the only difference is you got hot music to play. Hey,
Yes.
Yeah. We're in a really weird building, which is literally on the runway. Like when you go out the back of this building, you are on the fucking runway, and it's like where they would bring in these high extreme fucking case witnesses and shit, and they bring them in here and have them under lock and key. So we're in the weird vibe room, but it's cool.
But you know what's really cool though is that you're located on the runway where it took high-profile people to be brought to. You're a high-profile, extraordinary air personality. You know what I'm saying? We got Garrett, who's a high-profile producer, you know what I'm saying, who's known to produce great concerts. And you got Bushwick Bill, who's the shortest man in hip-hop for producing the biggest thing. You know what I mean? So
that's it.
So the fact that I'm on a runway, I already know I'm taking off. I'm in flight.
for sure. So were you born in Jamaica?
Yes, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Kingston? Okay, fucking the rough town.
Sure.
Most of my friends are all on the grill side because they're all the weed people. You know what I mean? They're all fucking on that side of the fence. But did you leave as a kid, or did you come later, or when did you come to the States?
No, I got here before kindergarten, so I was able to go from kindergarten to high school in the Americas.
Nice. And then literally Bushwick all the time, or somewhere, you know?
No, I only lived in Bushwick, Brooklyn.
Gotcha. Before it became trendy, which I went up there recently, and I was like, damn, Bushwick has changed a lot. That's for sure. Fuck, it's like I know
because the first female cop to get killed on duty was in Bushwick, Brooklyn, on Cooper and Green Street.
Yeah,
it was back in 1980.
It had it always had a reputation for sure of being a fucking hood spot way back in the day. And then my friends moved there later in the 90s and kind of had their little spot, and you could it got a little hipper and weirder, but it was always had that little edge. And then recently, like I said, when I went there like maybe about a month ago, and I was like, wow, this is crazy.
It came up.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is gentrified around it, and I mean, there's still zones, of course, but it's like, wow.
So Bushwick Bill, Bushwick has come up a lot in the recent years. Have you ever considered changing your name to Beverly Hills Bill?
No.
Okay, just got to make sure, because you came up a lot in life too.
I will always be a Bushwick Hillbilly.
Bushwick Hillbilly, yeehaw!
Get him, Earl.
So, besides coming here, I know back in like 2015 you were putting together a documentary. Did that ever like go through, or what was the situation with that?
Yeah. It's finally got to the phase where they're planning on releasing it this year. Between iTunes, they're looking at iTunes, Netflix, Amazon. They haven't really made up their mind yet.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
They haven't really in the picking out which one I want to do situation, because when you trust people to be willing to talk you into a documentary that you didn't even think yourself is that interesting about, then you got to be willing to trust their judgment on where they think it should be distributed. But if they ever ask my opinion, I'll give them an opinion, though.
Well, yeah, and recently it's like, it really depends on obviously getting in front of as many people as possible, and because everybody's kind of trying to figure out how to do it all for free, and what's the freest, most easiest way to get the most content possible. You kind of got to work with the one that the most people are either hacking into or getting for free or something, because then you get otherwise you get limited by the ability for people to watch it, because sometimes I'll be like, oh shit, didn't pay my Hulu bill. Well, fuck Hulu, I don't need it anyway. And then one show comes on, I'll be like, I better pay that bill just so I can watch that one show, and then I get sucked back in or whatever, But I'm always trying to ride the cheapest mode possible. I think everybody is in that sense.
Bushwick, what platforms is that documentary on?
He doesn't know
It's
yet.
basically
Oh.
it's basically it's not released yet, but the platform for mentality that it's on is that it's digging deeper into what made the ever so clear thing happen, like what was going on in my life before, during, and then my life now after.
Gotcha.
So it gives you more deeper explanation than the rigmarole questions that are asked blasé by everyone who's ever researched it. They try to find different ways to ask you the same question. This actually explains everything where they will have a better comprehension.
Right. Okay. Got you.
Well, yeah, and it's amazing
But it's
now.
not about my total life. It's not about my total life, like everything. Like a regular documentary would be about your total existence. This is about one fragmented, high-profile moment in my life that changed the course of my life. Like living with one eye, having your hearing hyphened, and your ability to think hyphened, and your spider senses be tingling when you never knew you had spider senses. Somebody walks up behind you, you could feel the presence of somebody behind you. If somebody hands somebody something over your head, you could feel the presence of something over you. When I wouldn't even know that, so I turned around and bumped into somebody.
Right, it's like third eye's awakened there or something on top of everything. Or
Yeah, it's like your senses are heightened. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool, because so is my creative skills, and so is my creative comprehension, and so is my creative direction. So it's a plus all the way around.
And what year did that all happen when you lost your eye? Is it like
June 1991.
91. And
As they say in Texas, Juneteenth.
and you said like that happened after. Was it like a crazy like right after thing, or was it like kind of a, sort of as it? I mean, because obviously it takes a while to heal. That's not an easy wound for healing side. I mean, you're talking like a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden things started to, or that tingling was immediate.
It was like a year after, because your body is still like if I walked into a room, like the best example I give you is like if I walked into a room and I was with all the dimensions and diameter of that room, I could see the room in full scope as if I had two eyes until I walk into the edge of the door or the wall. Because your mind really don't understand that your eye is gone. So anywhere you put your weight, you could see the panoramic view of the room memory from physicality.
Yeah, it's amazing because there's so much compensation that people realize, and, like the way, even on a daily basis when you have two eyes, you're sort of like, there's certain things that are, if you could actually see it, you think you see it really great vision, but actually it's only like whatever you're pinpointing on, and the rest is all kind of lacking a little bit, so that until you actually and if you have to compensate like to do that, there's much different, completely different sort of there to do totally different things. And I'm sure at that moment in time is when, like you're saying, you had other enhancements. What do you think was the other things that amplified on you or changed?
My comprehension, my reasoning, my understanding, and my mobility, because bullet was never able to be removed. It's like reasoning, understanding, and mobility. So if I'm upset, I go beyond comprehension. There is no reasoning to my anger. There is no reasoning to my anger. And, you know, sometimes I get so angry that it's a paralyzing feeling. There's no mobility neither. Then I could get so angry where I'll act it all out before I think about it. You know what I mean? So I have to go through all these stages of realizing that I'm not the same. Nothing about me is currently the same. Yes, I look in the mirror, I look the same, I sound the same. I'm my mother's child, I'm my father's baby. I just don't really comprehend certain things. Like if people's ignorant level meter is way past 10 and I'm trying to speak to them rationally and they still trying to come with a Jedi mind fuck, and I'm like, I'm trying to be rational here, people. And they still try to come with the Jedi mind fuck, then like mind fuck, so my mind just be like, all right, that's exactly what the fuck it is. You're away your shift to the left instead of the right. You've been left on the mattress. I wouldn't have to speak to your motherfucking ass right now. You know, and it goes to that level. You know what I mean? Like no filter. I'll just tell the person the worst thing I know everybody know about them, and no filter.
Well, I mean, that's,
you know, I let
that's also
their attitude stuff, and while they're walking through life with blinders on, and they're not even a horse without a carriage.
Well, nowadays you have to be a little harsh, otherwise people. I mean, people are.
That's the thing.
People don't.
Well, it's logic, reasoning, and understanding. So I'm not going to reason with myself. I'm going to try to understand. They don't need to hear it. That there's a smoother way to say it. It's like they keep playing like they understand it's fucked. I just give them the upchuck. I just do it. This is what it is. This is what it was. This is what it can't be. Hey, but what do you think about me and Spice One at the Herman's Hideaway on the 22nd of March? Yo, it's serious business day. You know what I mean? I'm going with Spice One doing shows. It's like it's really cool. You know what I mean? When good friends can come together and still their music, feeding their family, get to do shows together. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful feeling. And you know, and the people out there in Colorado going out to Herman's Hideaway, they're going to have a ball. At Herman's Hideout, it's going to be to see. You know what I mean? I call it, even though it's the Hideout, but you know, it's just you know what I mean? I'm like Twitty with the Conway. Like I wouldn't call him. I'll be Twitty. Now I'm talking about.
Of course, you gotta add your own. Add your own, of course.
You know, I'm looking forward to doing it. And then the crazy part is we're gonna do it one more again. We had Herman Hideaway on the 22nd of March. Doing raw, rough, original gangster street music. You know what I mean? Then we're looking at going to Lamont and doing the what's the name of the club again? The Dun, right?
It's the Dickens out in Longmont.
The Dun's my place.
Dickens, that's what it is.
Dickens or the Dick Outs, whatever you want to call it. Because I know you like to go Twitty Conway Twitty, so we can call it the Dick Outs.
Yeah, it doesn't sound so fun actually. You're like Dick Outs.
Longmont, right?
Yeah, it's in Longmont. Yeah, it's about 30-40 minutes
there
north.
You go. Up Herman's Hideaway, me and Spice One. Then we had it one more again on the 23rd in Lamont. You know what I mean? At Dickens. Giving you the Charles with the gangster lean.
Charles Dickens. Hell yeah. And you and Spice got some new stuff you're gonna debut.
Oh yeah. Because I'm on his Game of Thrones album. Well, Throne album. And yeah, we got some new, like we've never done songs together as much as we've known each other. Like him and Face will do songs and other people, but me and Spice is our first time actually collaborating. And I got two that you love here because you know it's just a beautiful thing when you could get by with a little help from your friends by just doing music or just having a great old time with your friends. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. But like I was saying though, 300 Main Street in Lamont, right at Dickens, 300 Main Street. You got to come check it out, and we're gonna give you the full Charles at Dickens, and you're gonna get a dose of gangster rap.
Hell yeah!
On 300 Main Street in Longmont. When you come to the Dickens, it be zippers.
Yo, you You want to drop a little sample verse for us on the show?
Oh, yeah. Check it out, though, right? Yo. This is it, right? This is what I'm going to do for y'all. Okay. I'm feeling good, feeling great, high. Feel a little unsteady, yeah, I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling like a refrigerator, yeah, I'm feeling cool. Yeah, I'm in the coop, no kids, just me and my boo. Pocket full of loot, and I know I look cute. You could call a brother fly, but I already flew. Chunk a few deuces while I'm stunting and cruising. Make 'em look twice like I'm deja vuing. I'm fresh, I'm fly, I'm right. With my yellow baby, yo, I call her light bright. I ain't got to say it twice because we're looking too nice. Everybody jocking because we stay tight. We ain't worried about a price. We ain't worried about nothing. It's a swag movie. Action stunning. And I can't help it. I'm freshly stunning. But yeah, we already done it. Yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling great. How are you? Yeah, I do my thing and what it do. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Steady getting loose. Got my whole crew with me and you know what it do. Yeah, times great. Good times, you know, we having good times, great times, good times, because we having good times, great times, good times. Yeah, we having good times, great times, good times. I'm feeling high in the sky with a natural high, and my glow shining brighter than a star in the bright. Hold up, feeling high in the sky with a natural high, and my glow shining brighter than a star in the night. You're killing them. Well, look in the light. See, my swag on right, brothers. Why I've been to flight? And it could be true. Change my name so cool. I'm feeling too good. You could times it by two. And I'm chilling with the wise. Yes, I'm chilling with the fools. But if you check the word, then we all got two. And my laid back demeanor feel cleaner than new sneakers. Whole crew down. New sticker. Now pass is rap. Sticker. Got God on my side. Now tell me why should I bicker? You wonder why? Why? I'm feeling good. Good. You wonder why? Why? I'm feeling great. Good. Have a blessed day. Bushwick Bill on the done show. It ain't done. We
Sweet, my friend.
Yeah. That's your